Devil May Cry 3 is a fantastic game. You can go pick a copy up at your local stop and mark. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to write something off just because it's maybe offensive. Most of the time, the joke isn't anything unique or creative. Aren't Japanese interests really weird? And don't they have funny accents? Welcome to Shadowberry Shack. And some of the well, I don't know a better way to put this. It's like Nostalgia Critic skits before the Nostalgia Critic existed.
I'm afraid you can't escape the studio that easily. I've trapped you in a dream world from which you can never escape. I am Mr. Mixius Pitlick. Some people say Mixoplex, but they're wrong. Who? I'm a super villain. Don't you recognize me?
What an ego.
I fight Superman all the time. I'm famous.
I'm right here, Blair.
What's your
A razor phone.
Sprinkles.
How's Wolfie? I can hear him really barking.
Wolfie's fine. Where are you?
Claire Butler is dead.
I have to go.
Wait, who's gonna help us assassinate the leaders of the free world? Ooh, I can't wait to stick it to Angela Merkel.
That bitch is no Thatcher.
Seriously.
I know now why you review, but it's something I can never do.
Hey, X-Play was funny as hell, man. G4 TV used to be fucking turned, bro. Cable TV will never be like it once was, G. Overcooked, bro. It never will be like it once was.
Another thing that's been said about X-Play is that they had a ginormous bias against Japanese games, or more specifically, anime-based games and RPGs. And this isn't a sentiment either. Even back in the day, people were writing in and posting on the X-Play boards about how much it was obvious Adam in particular couldn't stand JRPGs, which the show would bring up quite a bit.
Who the hell is this?
Actually, we kind of we cloned you. We made a replacement version of you just in case something happens. He's younger than you. He's more charming than you, definitely.
He looked familiar though. Who was that?
He's wearing my shirt. He's got my shoes.
Welcome to X-Play. I hate RPGs.
He looked familiar as hell. Why I feel like I then thought that nigga was Tom Brady.
Public perception and cherry-picked clips. And after seeing enough episodes of X-Play and slugging through well over 100 reviews, I can say with 100% certainty, X-Play absolutely had a bias against Japanese games. I cannot tell you how many reviews of RPGs I saw where they were called the game weird or boring and then given a pity 3 out of 5. Hell, in some reviews, you can tell they really don't want to review these in the first place, but feel as if they have to, as it's their job.
Brave, sturdy new traveler. It's an RPG. It's an RPG for your PSP. And that's just about all you need to know about it. But since I'm legally obligated to give this game a full review, here goes.
If it's something mainstream like art or something action-oriented,
My nigga, what's the word, man? Peter, my boy, phone them. We in this bitch chilling.
everyone. But as the series went on, it feels
God damn it, you a fucking bot.
towards RPGs, and anyone who played them.
God damn it, Peter. I thought you was a real nigga, man.
One of the worst reviews I've ever seen. I mean, just look at this garbage.
Still looking for the bot follow though. Phone them.
Made it to the GameCube's Purple Shores was Baden Kaito's Eternal Wings in the Lost Ocean. Lucky for all 27 of you people who bought it, a prequel. Baden Kaito's.
Hey man, who remember G4 TV, man?
Let me guess. It's probably
Y'all had to be back in the day. Y'all had to be there back in the day with the goddamn with the big ass gray remote from Comcast with the big ass on demand button, bro. Y'all don't even know shit about that whole time. That way before y'all time, boy. You feel me? That before y'all time. Ain't like I'm old. I hope I don't look old.
harassment if her wings were asking for it. You can chain the cards together to add maximum damage, but like any card-oriented game, you're at the mercy of Lady Luck. That bitch. There are new tweaks to the card system, but the changes don't go deep enough to really make a difference.
I swear to God, boy, water the best drink.
Shut up about Sagi. Saki! Baden Kaido's origin is an RPG for the GameCube. That about says it all. A 3. Saki!
They bogus.
Three out of 5? You did all that. You barely even reviewed the fucking game, and you're giving it a 3 out of 5? The thing is, they weren't like this when they were still GameSpot TV and Extended Play. They treated JRPGs like any other game, and would give them praise if they were actually good. If there's one group that X-Play did despise with a burning passion, that would be the nerds. And it doesn't matter your race, gender, or sexual orientation, you can be a nerd regardless of your background.
Out here, the little things will kill you.
The world outside is no longer survivable. Each one of us has this voice in our heads saying, maybe.
I came all the way here. Where's my wife?
Skip ad, bro. I need premium, G.
These were the people who were usually enjoying the RPGs in Japanese media that X-Play constantly shat on, and were also the ones browsing the X-Play boards and calling them out for their biases. X-Play made it their mission to let these nerds know they didn't care what they thought, and that they were losers.
Last review of the show, and what a doozy it is. See, we get a lot of hate.
It used to mostly come from the Dragon Ball Z fans.
Then it came from the Inuyasha fans.
And now most of it comes from the Full Metal Alchemist fans.
They hate us because we didn't like the first Full Metal Alchemist game, and we said when the character was a robot in a loincloth.
You have to buy your own Mac with the game, but once you got it, the
I ain't gonna lie, this girl got some big ass titties for her to be this fucking skinny, bro. I think that's one of the reasons why I was just attracted to this show as a shorty. Like, I fake used to have a crush on her. Her, Hillary Duff, nigga. Low key, the Asian Brenda Song from fucking Sweet Life, low key. Like, I didn't have a thing for them hoes. For sure.
Cheeto-stained boys come to life. You are joining us on a very special occasion, our celebration of all things Final Fantasy.
Really did have a thing for the hoes.
Final Fantasy fanboys, totally different thing.
Okay, so it's still okay for me to hate guys who dress up as Riku.
Yeah, it's actually a job requirement. Did you read the employee handbook?
I can't read.
Since the very start of the X-Play rebranding, they were finding ways to crap on fans of anime, or fans of Final Fantasy, or RPGs. Speaking of which, I have to bring up the X-Play review of Crisis Core. Like I said, if X-Play didn't like your game, they did not hold back, and that goes for Crisis Core. They were, not very kind to it.
If a game features good-looking guys and incredibly stupid dialogue, you know it came from Japan. Hello to you, too! Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII is a prequel that stars a minor character from the original PlayStation game, who now gets his own rich, detailed story. And
I always wondered how
the problem is, it's a terrible story.
the cutscenes back in the day,
Poorly written and awkwardly delivered.
like I mean, they look pixelated, but the cutscene graphics definitely like clearly look better than like the in-game graphics. I don't really think we made that transition to cutscene / in-game graphics until, I'm gonna be honest with you, like Xbox One, for real, for real.
Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII gets a 2. Thanks. Out of 5.
This review got them a ton of
The PSP was turned.
So much so that for
I had I gave a homie a model. Shout out Robert.
Final Fantasy VII is a
For now.
that stars a exciting character from the original PlayStation game, who now gets his own rich, detailed story. The only problem is
The story is too good.
thanks. That dialogue is
Awesomely.
written and
Awesomely.
delivered. Maybe the script makes perfect sense to the Japanese, but to our ears, it's
Award-winning material.
But for those who
Ugh.
are already steeped in the rich tradition of the series,
They used to be trolling shit on here, bro, hard.
the dialogue is as
They was trolling shit hard on here.
man, Shinra really needs to
Sell
those outfits.
at the Gap.
Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII gets it
6.
Thanks. Out of 5.
As the years went on, it really feels like the people at X-Play started doing most of the reviews out of spite instead of actually giving the games a fair chance. Look, I know fanboys can be annoying. I know that. But don't forget that the last episode of Extended Play was Adam Sessler out and about interviewing LARPers, and he didn't seem to have a problem with it. But oh no, in X-Play, he has to interview Final Fantasy cosplayers, and he acts like he's about to die.
Next, we have cosplaying Final Fantasy.
Dude small as hell, oh my goodness.
We have other stuff too.
And no, I don't really think it's because they're racist and hate the Japanese. That's too easy. It's not like they're consistent with that shtick either, as once in a while they'll break character and give a Japanese RPG a really high score.
Few games have held on to their roots while expanding their world like Dragon Quest. At the end of the night, you'll want to save the last dance for this game. That's why we're giving Dragon Quest VIII for the PS2 5 kisses out of 5. Thanks for the memories.
Another review I saw when I was young was Okami, and this was actually my first exposure to the game. And let me tell you, Okami is in my top 5 favorite games. It's amazing. And it's also one of the most Japanese games in existence. It's based in historic Japan.
I think Okami was decent the whole time. I don't think I ever played it, but yeah, Okami was decent, I think. I used to see this shit.
And well, with all the comments X-Play's made about Japan, they must have hated it.
What's that, Okami? Morgan fell down a well? In the well, she discovered a race of subterranean people who have forced her to be their queen? You want a 5 out of 5? Oh, you always know the right thing to say. Okami gets a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. The most Japanese game you can possibly play, and they gave it a perfect score. It deserves it, but... So I'm not gonna chuck all these shots at Japan and weeaboos as just because they hate Japan. I think this is actually about the shifting tides that was going on in the gaming industry. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, the late 90s and early 2000s was the period when gaming was going from a niche geeky hobby for kids and nerds and was now slowly becoming the juggernaut it is today. Games were getting more advanced and could now break the boundaries for what the medium could be. And people were taking notice. In 2001 alone, you had stuff like Halo Combat Evolved,
Halo 1 was crazy.
showing the world what video games were capable of. And
Halo 1 was crazy, bro.
More and more people were falling into the hobby. Video games were cool now. It just wasn't for geeks anymore. But because video games were becoming mainstream, that means a lot of people were only coming in for those games that were catching people's eyes. They had no real interest in the more niche ones. You could now play video games without being labeled as a geek. However, now you had to play only the socially acceptable games. The games that made you look like a cool adult. It was so the people playing them could have a hobby while also keeping their social status, and they didn't want anything to tarnish that. So what happens when you gravitate towards something that wasn't inside that box? More like something that was made in Japan and meant for people who enjoyed Japanese culture. Well, that's gay. Why would you want to play that? Why would anyone want to play that? Video games are now appealing to a much wider audience who really cared about what people thought of them, and so they usually stuck to mainstream AAA games. And this was now the audience X-Play was appealing to, the type that only really cared for the mainstream stuff. They were profiting off of the sudden boom in gaming that was going on, the stuff that made gaming look cool and awesome. And well, anime games and RPGs usually had influence from different anime and manga, which was cartoonish by nature. And well, cartoons are for children, and therefore if you liked them, you were childish and or gay. Just finding ways to crap on anime games and anime fans any chance they get is so strange considering who their original audience was. Like, you can look back on Tech TV bumpers and see them advertising anime marathons right before an episode of X-Play. Hell, right at the end of an episode of Extended Play, you can see right there, at the bottom of the fucking screen, open your eyes and enter an amazing world of classic Japanese anime. Stay tuned for Anime Unleashed. Tech TV was appealing to that audience. The network was airing anime for those anime nerds and was talking about geeky tech stuff, and now X-Play was calling them huge losers because that's what their new audience saw them as.
A recent study shows that some fanboys are scarier than others. Now, sure, we have alienated the Final Fantasy fans, and we've...
Yeah, this girl is still, even looking back at her archive, I wonder how she looked today, bro.
Because they frighten us.
She just...
Write hate mail and they criticize the way I pronounce Super Saiyan.
She the right amount of average. Oh shit! Oh shit!
To not have his masculinity shattered by being perceived as childish, so they mock what doesn't appeal to them, and so X-Play started doing the same. They like guns and they like boobies, so they started showing all that off in the show. When you sexualize fictional women, it's cringe.
Oh, and your requisite assortment of sexy cat women and lizard people.
Nigga, what up? What up? What's that word? We in this bitch looking at YouTube.
Sometimes ladies in games are generously proportioned.
Yeah, they have big boobs. Scary, oversized twin zeppelins flying in the sky boobs. Here's a closer look at that. As if you
Good looking. So appreciate it.
It shows you the faith they have in their audience.
Yeah, we just chilling.
Don't want to read.
You have to go to the very first
Waiting for my job interview on Wednesday.
of Genji.
But if you aren't in the mood to read a 1,000-page novel, consider playing the game based on it.
If you want more evidence, that's how things were perceived back in the day. We're gonna switch the channel for a minute.
Goddamn fucking advertisement. Fuck you.
In 2003, there was the first ever Spike TV Game Awards. Yes, this is the exact same Game Awards Jeff Keighley has been hosting every year, but it was much different back in 2003. Gaming was now popular enough that it could now have its own Oscars, and for this very first one, they went all out. We got celebrities and rappers galore, sneak peeks at upcoming games for the bros, with them showing the main character's polygonal ass. But we're going to ignore all of that, and we're going to focus on what we came here for. What game wins Game of the Year 2003? 2003 was a pretty good year for video games.
Oh, 3?
Stuff like Wind Waker and Knights of the Old Republic, Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, 03?
Fantastic games. And any one of them could have won Game of the Year at this award show. But who was the one to take home the trophy? Well, the answer is none of them. 10 games were nominated for Game of the Year at this show. And you
good looking. Yeah.
Winning?
What game won Game of the Year? 03. Madden 04? Get the fuck out of here. No, the fuck Madden did not win Game of the Year 03, bro. Are you serious?
According to the Spike TV Game Awards, was the best game to come out.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Absolutely the fuck not. Absolutely the fuck not. Absolutely the fuck not.
It's what the gaming industry perceived as socially acceptable. It was a popularity contest more than anything, so they picked the safest option possible. Now, this might strike some viewers as harsh, but I believe anyone who voted Madden 2004 as Game of the Year does not deserve human rights. I mean, at least give credit to X-Play. They at least gave it a Knights of the Old Republic.
That's crazy. It was hella crazy games that came out in 03, bro.
Hasn't gotten over it. Hey, listen. I was too young to know
what? Are you serious?
I was watching Fuckingham Taro and playing Bing Bing Wahoo.
I mean, Def Jam Vendetta, bro.
I didn't know anime was specifically animation from.
What else? You had fucking, like he said, Soul Calibur, Tony Hawk's Underground, bro. What else came out in 03? Shit.
I'm not gonna lie. There are some actual
Let me see. 03, I was playing Xbox. Shit, damn near
it's really funny.
Around that Vice City time. Damn, I can't even really think right now. Didn't Halo 2 come out around that? Didn't Halo 2 come out in 03? The fuck? Halo 2 did come out in 03. Shit. Stream going decent though. Shit, I'm just chilling. Watching this G4 TV review on what used to happen on this shit.
Actual professional gaming outlet you listen to see what new games that are coming out that you get. It's pitiful. And it's not just in regards to just appealing to the Duke Road audience, because even with that, they still fall.
We'll never get this type of content again, bro. Like, shit's so fucking watered down these days, and I hate to say it. It's an oversaturation of content. As I sit here making content, it's a very much an oversaturation. There's too many people doing this shit, bro.
By far, the most anticipated game of the event.
But not only is it too many people doing it, it's like, I guess like the real mainstream content is not authentic. Like, this was mainstream content back in the day, and you could really see the authenticity. Like, they wasn't holding no punches on their opinions or anything of the sort. You feel me? Like, they was on point with their creativity.
Is on the same level as Devil May Cry 3 and Kingdom Hearts 2. At least they gave God Hand an actual worthwhile score. But that would also mean Devil May Cry 2 is on the same level as God Hand. I rest my case. Now imagine this going on for the next several years, leaving the 2000s behind and going into the 2010s, where things started to fall apart.
Damn, he did get bald. He did go bald. You say it's nice being on the stream. Good looking. Appreciate it. I'm just chilling, shit. I ain't doing much. Ain't nobody else on. None of the guys ain't on.
Anything regarding the networks X-Play was hosted on because I wanted to focus on the show itself.
Oh shit!
Is not going on behind the scenes at the company. Well, X-Play was an extremely popular show when it started airing.
I hope you ain't a bot.
Like I said at the start of the video, ZDTV was made to take advantage of the whole .com bubble that was expanding in the late 90s. But as many would know, that bubble would soon burst. And then, well, the channel started struggling. That 2003 rebranding of X-Play wasn't for fun. That was an attempt to grab new viewers as Tech TV desperately needed it. But meanwhile, in a different place, a new channel was arising.
TV.
What game is this?
2002, a new cable channel by the name of G4 was created. And this
G4 was bussing, bro. You had to be there. You had to be
The
there.
entire lineup was content dedicated purely to the gaming industry.
You had to be there.
Gaming news and reviews, you name it. It was a smart idea. However, G4 in the early 2000s struggled. It was struggling to get any advertisers on board. In order for your channel to survive, you needed advertisers and money. And G4 didn't have either. They needed something big to help them. In 2003, the CEO of Now Tech TV had finally had enough of their mediocre numbers and decided to put the channel up for sale. G4 saw this and saw what they had to offer and quickly swooped in to snatch the sale. And
That's
deal
the
was
bot
finalized in
question.
2004. The two channels merged to become G4 Tech TV until the assimilation was completed a few months later, and so it just became G4 again. Now that the two channels had become one, it was now survival of the fittest. Only the most popular of Tech TV's shows were allowed to stay on G4. If you didn't meet the channel's new expectations, the show was getting the axe and you were fired. Of course, X-Play was their most popular, so it got to stay, but everything else wasn't so lucky. Anything that was considered nerdy or geeky was immediately put on the chopping block. Anything relating to anime or all those anime marathons were axed, in America at least. They kept them around for Canada from what I read. Screensavers was another one of Tech TV's most popular shows, and it was transformed into Attack of the Show. It became a lot more about pop culture and current trends to appeal to a wider demographic, and a ton of people who worked on Screensavers were let go. And one of those people was a man named Dan Heward, who would later go online and write a huge blog post about what was going on behind the scenes at G4. Dan noted on his blog that G4 wanted to start shifting their topics from geeky stuff to just gamer and pop culture stuff. This shift caused massive problems with Dan's job, which was mostly screening live phone calls for the show from actual people.
Bill, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Leo.
Bill, you're a brave man. When Roger and Carmine showed up at your door, how did you feel about that?
A little scary with Scott coming along, but Roger was great.
You knew you were in trouble when Scott Harriet shows up at the door.
Now those phone calls were meant to be pre-recorded and more so for comedy than actually helpful. But don't forget, the average viewer of ZDTV and Tech TV were nerdy, shy, social outcasts. They didn't know how to be funny.
Our first call of the day, it's Christopher in Sewanee, Georgia. Hi, Christopher.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
What can I do for you today?
Well, my question is, what's the difference between CDR and CDRW, and should I get one?
Oh, I love that question because I have a kind of contrarian view on it all. I don't agree with the mainstream on this one, so I'm glad you asked.
He lost all passion for his job because it wasn't genuine anymore, and he eventually lost his job over this. The most damning part of this entire blog post is this quote by him right here. Management didn't want geeks asking questions on our show anymore. Screensavers and Tech TV was built on the foundation of those nerds keeping their network and show afloat, and once they found a new audience competitor to, they threw them away. They had served their purpose.
You have just given me my $1 million. Now get out!
What?
Get out!
X-Play is pretty much the only show that remained untouched when G4 came along. In fact, X-Play basically got the red carpet treatment since it was one of their most popular shows. They started building them a new set and everything. In fact, the first 3 episodes of X-Play when G4 took over had to be filmed in Adam Sessler's apartment because the sets weren't finished. And well, really, all they did after G4 took over was just double down on the stuff we already went over. X-Play, along with Attack of the Show, which is its own can of worms, went on to become G4's most popular shows, but things were about to get even worse for the channel as a whole.
Yeah, Attack of the Show wasn't too bad.
But thanks to Purdue Global, I got my literal dream job.
In late 2005, the then president of G4 stepped down and was replaced by a brand new guy named Neil Tiles. Neil had previously been a part of mostly sports networks, and when he took over G4, he decided that he didn't want it to be a gamer channel anymore. He wanted G4 to be a channel for man. A channel for the testosterone-fueled, sweaty, and muscular dude-bro men. G4 started picking up a ton of shows, like Ninja Warrior, The Man Show, and the bane of many viewers of G4, Cops. We'll hear why that is in a bit. If this wasn't a major red flag, well, let me spell it out. G4 was now a network that was in decline. They were doing anything to keep themselves afloat. X-Play themselves would still remain probably their most popular show, but it also went through a number of changes and alterations due to what was probably a change of the show's budget, as they were also struggling with competing with the soon-to-be monolithic internet. The strangest change of the show was this set, which has been unofficially called the Spear Set, where it seems they glued glass balls to the floor. Why would you do that? What if someone trips on one and breaks something? In 2008, the show got a gigantic overhaul, a brand new written format, and would stick like this for the next few years. And this overhaul would add its original GameSpot TV and extended play roots, where it's attempting to be a lot more informative than just crack jokes about the games.
Oh shit!
Toned out a lot in this overhaul. It's still there in some format, but it's not anywhere near where it was. So it's like they sort of fused the original shows and X-Plane to this new style.
Hey, you can't smack me right now. You're hurt. You're hurt. You're hurt real bad, but you are not dying.
But the reason for this change was more than likely a result of budget cuts and having less writers to work with and a smaller studio space overall. There's really not much to comment on after this overhaul. It's legit just like all the other game review outlets that were out at the time, and that's to its benefit and its detriment. It's beneficial because now the show isn't hostile towards any of their viewers anymore, for the most part. But this also works against them now because there's absolutely nothing stand out about them anymore. All this gaming news and reviews, well, why would you go to X-Play for that now, when there's dozens of sources that can do that? Maybe if you didn't go online very much and this is still all you had, but by 2008, that percentage of people was rapidly declining. And speaking of declining, by 2010, G4 was on the ropes. Their attempts to make G4 the main channel had completely fallen apart. They attempted to make a couple of new shows here and there to attract viewers, but they all failed. And X-Plane and Attack of the Show were probably the only two shows keeping the channel afloat. But those went south too because, well, I'll tell you why that went south. I had discovered X-Play around late 2005-ish. And of course,
oh shit!
TV was jaw-dropping to me, and I caught any episodes I could until about late 2007, early 2008-ish. You see, for us at least.
Alright, now it's time for some 2K. Update the streams.